So
Oh, I know.
we are now recording the July 1st, 2016 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, Misha.
Hi.
Hey.
I guess I should have looked up first before I started talking. Okay. Go ahead, do your thing.
Write it down then so you don't forget.
I know, right?
We were discussing with Yvette bookkeeping clients that are asking her for signatures on their financials. 4, you said.
Yeah, I've had 4 in the last few months. Now I tell them that I can't. My insurance won't allow it for for one. And I don't feel comfortable signing documents. But I even got a letter from their broker, their banker, and because one of my clients is buying a second home, and so they're asking for their financials and signed by the preparer.
And
You do their taxes?
No, I don't do their taxes.
Signed by the preparer means that you were hired for an attest engagement, and you're not qualified to do that.
Plus, you'll get in big
Somebody's
trouble.
paying you for a review or an audit.
Right.
Plus, you're going to get in trouble with your state society of CPAs and state board of accountancy. I'll tell you that right now.
there is specific wording that they use, and they tell auditors that if they sign anything that looks like a profit and loss or a balance sheet, they're attesting to that information.
Right.
Well,
Just
my
because of the-
client.
But these brokers know this.
They're just looking to cover
Well,
it.
I talked to the
So you
broker
just
and I
say
told them.
no, and you won't get any blowback because they're going to throw it out there and see if they can push some liability onto you. And if you don't do it, they go, "Oh crap, they're onto us."
Yeah.
This isn't new.
Right. And so I told the banker that I cannot do it. And I told my client was very nice about it. I told him, look, I can't do that. My insurance doesn't allow it. And I think, you have to pay someone.
They're called comfort letters. Google comfort letters, and
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, Sarah.
Tell them if you get in trouble with the
So
state.
what he did is I sent my client the profit and loss, the balance sheet, and all whatever they needed. And I said, so I'm going to send it to you. And he said, well, I'll just
let the
walk.
client give it to them.
Yeah.
What I would do, I would call your state board of accountancy saying, what can I tell these people to leave me alone?
That's what they mean.
Because
Well, there's sample letters out there that they recommend to respond with,
Yeah.
but I would get some guidance from your state board of accounts, state board, because they could come after you too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't sign anything.
That's what I'm saying, but at least to give you another reason saying why I can't do this.
Right.
Isn't there some phrase where you say these reports are only for management or
That's what you say,
Management
yeah.
purposes.
mm-hmm.
But
I put those on the bottom of mine, unaudited for discussion.
Yeah.
But in this case, the broker knows what he's doing. Sadly, I don't think that clients get that. They don't understand, oh, it's just a signature. It really shouldn't mean that much or be that hard to do for you. So the client, I don't think, is the right person. I mean, yours are being understanding, but one of them wasn't.
No.
One of them you had to let go.
Yeah, he threatened me, so I let him go.
Yeah.
And I remember writing him the email just saying,
Yeah, oh gosh, life's too short.
You guys are so polite. I let him go.
Fired him.
Gave him the gate.
yeah, besides a couple other things. So,
Well, if I were you, I'd put it in my engagement letter saying that I cannot sign,
yeah,
it's
I'm
mine.
definitely redoing my engagement letter and adding a clause in there about that because I've never really.
say, look at my engagement letter. I'll let you know up front.
Go lie down.
Absolutely.
Go lie down.
So the other thing you wanted to talk about of that was employees versus subcontractors.
Contractors. Yep.
So
Because I right now, the people that I have working for me, they're all subcontractors, and well, maybe start thinking about it. Is the other day I saw Seth's hangout, you know, and he mentioned that he used to have all subcontractors, and
Who's that?
now all he doesn't hire any more subcontractors, only employees.
Who's typing?
It depends on if the person's self-employed or not.
True.
You know, if
Actually,
they're putting themselves out there and making a profit and a loss and working for other people, they're a subcontractor. If
Yeah.
they only work for you and who hired them and that's all they do is work for you, they're an employee.
Think
I
of control.
Okay, yeah, no.
Think of the word control. Are you controlling their schedule? Are you controlling how they do it? Are you controlling, you know, is it, you know, their hours? You know, do they have, you know, are they coming into your office to work with it?
No, they all work remotely. I mean, sometimes they'll come in here when they're new, and I have to show them a little bit, you know, what needs to be done, you know, but that's only like for a couple days, and then they're on their own there. Because the people that I have working for me, they're seasoned, you know, bookkeepers, you know. So I don't know, but I just started thinking about what Seth said. I just don't know, you know, I mean, is it really advantageous to have an employee as opposed to a subcontractor?
Well,
You don't have a choice.
for example,
You don't have a choice. They either are or they're not.
Right.
You don't have a choice. You can't choose.
here's
Well, let me
the,
tell you about this.
hold on one second.
I started working for a CPA, okay? I worked out of my home.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told her I wanted to be a subcontractor. And she said, oh, no, you're an employee of mine, you know, and she would pay me a paycheck. Even though I worked out of my home, I used all my stuff, you know.
That's not enough. That's not enough.
Yvette,
There's an IRS form that gives you,
Yvette?
what is it, 25 questions?
it's I just put a link in the chat.
Oh, you're wonderful.
On the IRS's website, there is a whole discussion of independent contractor, self-employed, or employee. It will give you the scenario of how you go about figuring out if it's an independent contractor or an employee. You don't want to get this wrong, because if you get it wrong, you're going to be held accountable for payroll taxes.
And they got you.
And
Also-
they don't play around with that.
also,
And
Well, that I know,
payroll
but
taxes,
like I said, I mean,
workers' comp.
these
Workers'
girls
comp and all
that
that,
work
yeah.
for me, they do bookkeeping for other people like me. I'm
Well,
not.
then chances are, if you can prove it, if you've got a contract, you've got a copy of their business card, you know, all these other things that show, and they have, you know, EIN and the whole thing, and maybe DBA, they're a contractor.
So
That's the
here's
thing, too. You want to look at, you want to have a contract. Who's sharing? Oh, that's you, Misha?
Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
very nice.
independent contractor defined.
Yeah, I have that. That's what I give to my clients.
This is what, if this right here is how you can determine whether it's an employee or a contractor.
Right.
But I will say I would never fill out the form that asks that and let the IRS make
No, you use it as a
This
guide.
isn't, no, this is generally, if you're going to have an independent contractor, you want to make sure you have a contract with that person. You want to make sure that you have certain things in place that explicitly states this person is not an employee. They're on a
Well, I always
contract
have a-
basis.
Sign an independent contractor agreement. You know,
Exactly.
Mhm.
Right.
I have one.
So
that is signed.
it,
prepared if you have to have employees because
Yeah.
the rules and regulations in California, oh my gosh.
exactly. So then you look
Oh
at
my
the federal regulations.
Ah,
In addition to that, you then now need your state regulations for how do you
Do any of
classify
them
it.
live out of your state?
Pardon me?
Do any live out of your state?
One is in Washington.
Yeah, see, then you get into multi-state.
Yep.
right.
you know, also like in the state of Washington, L&I has more stringent rules on contractors. And for example, you're supposed to make sure if they've got a home office, if they're filing a Schedule C and the whole, you know.
Yeah, you pretty much have to help the government prove that they're self-employed. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like
Well, I know this one gal is because I'm hooked up with her through LinkedIn, and she's got a business name. She works for different, bookkeeping services and accounting agencies.
Yeah.
Also has her own clients as well,
I mean,
I don't worry about the ones like that. I worry about the ones who, they're just a bookkeeper, they're a mom, they're not working for anybody else. You pick them up to do some work. They're an employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then you can have a situation where you have somebody come into your office on a set schedule. However, they're working on a specific project, and when that project is over, then it's over. That person technically is not an employee.
Sure they are.
Because
Because it was short term doesn't make them.
no, not short term, because you've contracted with that person for a project.
Doesn't
and
matter. Projects are still, employees can still.
Yeah, I have engineers that do
I
that.
don't rely on that one.
If you're providing the equipment and setting the schedule, you're considered an employee.
I thought it was
call
to
it.
set the schedule. In other words, if you let them come and go at their own convenience.
Right.
And
But
can
they're
they
coming, but they're coming to your space
Yeah.
to do whatever, and then they do their thing. But you're not telling them you need to be here at 8 and you need to leave at 5. You're not. It's just that the work happens to be here. They come in, they do their thing, and they leave.
Boy, if they're on your premises, that's pretty.
Well,
And it also-
20 questions. It isn't, one question doesn't hold all the weight. You have to look at all
All
of
the
them.
questions. Right.
Right.
Think of the word
See how-
control.
how it's heavier,
Think of the word control. How much control do you have over them?
Yeah.
Can they send somebody else in their place?
Right. Can
Things
they
like
hire-
that.
Right.
They decide how the work's done.
How does workers' comp work in California? How many employees do you have to have before you have to get workers' comp?
I think one. If it's
What?
not a sole proprietor, I think you have to have workers' comp. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, it's the same way. If you have, even if you have a corporation and you're as a corporation here, you're technically an employee, so you have to have workers' comp as
Yeah,
the owner,
here
even
it's
if
more
it's just
than
you.
Yeah, here you as long as you have one, you have to have workers.
Really?
Yeah.
California is
strict.
extremely strict.
Yes,
Wow.
it is. Yes, it is.
Very
I
strict.
do know an employee or an employer that went out of business because they decided they did not want to have employees. They wanted to have all subcontractors. And they did tell people that when they hired them.
Doesn't matter.
One of the girls decided that, when she wasn't working anymore, she went and applied for
Unemployment.
and that was it. They came back and they smacked that employer and put her out of business.
Or if they get hurt on the job, if they get hurt on the job and they don't have any L&I, you could get stuck with the hospital bill. It's not like as a bookkeeper, but I mean, if you're in construction or things like that, where you're hiring subs, you could get stuck with the L&I if, the reimbursing L&I for hospitalization. So that's, like I say, it's not likely in our profession where people are going to, hurt themselves really badly unless they hurt their back or something.
The construction industry is notorious for all that.
Right.
I have had contractors, and sometimes all the payroll taxes get to them, so then they think they could, I'll just hire this guy's a subcontractor. How they know? But heck, they have auditors that come to the job sites.
I have a client that had something like that happen. He was hiring subcontractors, or they were the employees of his subcontractor, but they were wearing his T-shirts and hats. And the state of Washington L&I auditor happened to look snooping around and decided they were employees and hit him with a big fine.
Wow, yeah, and those fines are huge.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And it is like you got to do the 20 questions. It isn't one specific question that's the make or break. It's the combination of everything.
Actually, Sarah and Gina, they changed it. It's not 20 anymore. It's 4.
4.
Yeah. They just no. Listen,
Still based on the
I know, but they've tried to
streamline it.
streamline it so within each This is the new
Yeah.
topic 762. I remember that coming out.
Yeah.
And so now you do the behavioral, financial relationship of the parties and stuff. I think it's 3. So they're trying to make that, that 20 a little bit.
Yeah, I know, because it's so much. Somebody
Yeah, exactly.
Like I had a client who said, "Oh no, they bring their own tools," and I'm like, "That's it? All you got?"
Look at the financial controls one is, that's kind of, literally you can get like 50 questions out of all of this.
Right. Everybody's different in how they work.
And I'm sure you guys got that notice that Jan put out too about how now we have to file everything by the 30th. So
Yeah, they've announced that last year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
I had a talk. We had a meeting yesterday, and see, I use third-party software to do all my W-2s and 1099s. So, other than the fact that we're going to have to e-file immediately, and we get no wiggle room, our software allows us very easily to names and amounts and file corrected return. File corrected. But if you don't have those tools. Like, you can do 1099s on QBO Plus or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it, so I don't know how to tell anybody, what to do. But what happens on February 3rd when you find out the amount was wrong or their name was wrong or the EIN was wrong or whatever? So what do you do?
Yeah. I've had people who get their 1099s or whatever, and they don't even like. I actually have someone whose social security number was wrong on their W-2.
Yeah.
Didn't know until I pointed it out. Like maybe in
how do y'all do
close to April.
How do y'all do 1099?
I usually do mine in QuickBooks, Intuit payroll for accountants.
Okay, so I've never been able to do that mainly because LLC names I can't really control. I can't get them the way I want them, and on
I don't do a lot. I'm not like you're like mega.
Well, yeah, okay, but I say next year and you use the same service, and February 3rd somebody calls and you've got a correct one. Do you know what to do? That's what
I haven't thought of it.
I
haven't even thought about it yet, but
not
I
coming out of Windows in January in February. And man, I don't want to see the baby.
You got how many Mariette?
I may bring them in for a special appearance.
Oh,
It's
good.
hard to hear you.
Hold on.
Microphone's on the floor. There you go.
All right. Now, I got a little
better.
now. Hold on.
How you doing? How's the baby?
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me get.
It's so cute. All your kids are cute.
Okay. Did you guys? I'm sure you've seen like my thousands of Facebook posts.
And he is
Oh my God.
smiling in every single one.
And my husband's so mad at me. He's like, "Cut it out with the Facebook." No. Well, because I've always been very, I am. Most of the time it's all professional stuff. I'll put like links to things, but I'm just so in love right now. I'm in love. What can I say? And then he's like, "You must really be in love because you even post pictures of me and you don't even tell people about your husband." I'm like, I'm in love with you too. I'm in love with everybody right now.
It's all his hormones.
It is. Oh my gosh, I know. I told him you should be happy. It's good hormonal time, not bad hormonal time.
That's
Don't
right.
complain.
Man, you need to bottle that.
Oh my gosh.
Right
I
now.
know. So yeah, it's great. He's so good. My nanny laughs at me because she's like, you have him as a soldier. He's already on the schedule. He's barely turning a month tomorrow. And my son's already on his schedule. He sleeps at
That's
the
great.
time. He naps. He eats. And he looks at me like, "Oh man, my mom's not going to give me any more for another 30 minutes. I better just be quiet." I know. That's how. It's the only way I've been able to maintain working and having kids. So he is going to have to deal with it just like the other two.
Get with the schedule.
Yeah, get with the schedule, exactly. But I
Well,
miss
he
you
knows
guys.
from birth, so he doesn't know anything else.
You know what? That's what I say. And my older ones are older now. They're 9, or they're 8 and 10. They'll be 9 and 11 in a few months, and they're just like, "Mom, but he's the baby." I'm like, it doesn't matter. He needs to be under the schedule like everybody else.
Did you cut your hair, Mariette?
I did. I cut it off.
Yeah, it's cute.
I always cut my hair when I have kids because, the hair gets in their face. I have this thing. I'm really like, everything is like so patterns for me. I get pregnant. I have to cut my hair. I have to have my kids. They have to be on schedule. If not, I'll like go crazy.
No, and it's good for them to be on a schedule. That's what I did with my daughter when she was a baby. One of my cousins told me, you have to have her on a schedule. It'll work. It'll be good for her when she gets older. This day, she still goes to bed between 8 and 8:30.
Oh, that's
going to
amazing.
be 15.
Well, and I think it's good too for I've told my nanny, I said, because she's so funny. She's more like, God, she stayed at home for a while with her kids, and she's like, you don't have to be so perfect on schedule. I'm like, wait and see, because when you come, you're gonna love it. I'm gonna tell you exactly when he eats, when he poops, when he does everything, and you won't have anything to worry about it. And she's like, no kidding. I feel like I have nothing to do. I said, I told you. Yeah. Well, she still has my other kids. I have all 3 kids here for the summer right now. So I said, oh, you still got the other 2 kids to worry about. So yeah.
Nice.
It's fun. But I'm like, I need to get back to my peeps. I need to start talking to everybody again. I felt like I wasn't connected. And me, that gets me nervous when I'm not connected. So I'm like,
You're hard to forget.
I know.
Since we have you here,
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
would you like to talk about our conversation earlier?
Yes, I would. Well, I'm sure you guys saw how excited I got, I think yesterday with the new accountant text infographic, the new word infographic. I'm still getting used to that new word.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love it. I think their first one was the circle, right? I think like a year ago they did one that was like a circle and they put all of.
Remember that. I remember.
It looks just like this one, but this one's got a lot more in it.
Yeah. Who did the one with the circle? Because I had that one online for a long time on my Twitter feed. It's like a circle with all the apps in it. It's really cool. It's you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like
yeah, I'm trying to think who did that.
Yeah, someone did it last year and it was awesome. But anyway, so I saw that one a couple days ago because I voted for my favorite app. Have you guys voted for your favorite app yet? Okay, cool. Awesome. So I was showing some app love, and then, you get this cool little chart when you're done with doing your app love. And so of course I'm up at like 3 in the morning every day now because feedings. So fun, my crazy hours. It's only an hour before I get up regularly, which is like at 4:30. So that's not that bad. So, and I decided to message Gina, because I was like, oh my gosh, I have this really good idea. Because, you have ideas when you're showering, and now I have ideas when I'm feeding my baby. That's like, so I told her that I love the idea of taking the diagram and the way they put the different categories in the pattern. It's rectangle pattern with categories in the squares, taking each category and then focusing on that category for a certain period, whether it's a month or a certain amount of weeks, kind of like in a series, and then maybe demoing a couple of those apps during that series.
That's great.
Yeah. So for instance, there's so many, I think there's like at least, I'm looking at it right now, I think there's like 15 or 20 categories.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then just choosing a category and then let's demo it, obviously if we're going to do document management, we do HubDoc, and then we can do HubDoc in another one. And then we can talk about topics about that category. We don't always have to demo the product, but we could just focus on topics related to that category, like during a certain amount of time, whether it's like 1 week or 2 weeks. So just thought it would be kind of cool, because it's so hard, a lot of us, to focus on, what are we going to spend some time on? And now at least we have a plan, like a roadmap of let's focus on business intelligence. Let's focus on CRM. And then what are we going to focus on? Well, I'm looking at the CRM right now. I think there's like 30 different apps in the CRM category.
Hey, Mariette, and where are you looking at this?
I just put a link in
SBAA?
the chat.
Okay.
So this is the infograph from Accountex.
Oh, okay.
What I want to do is carry that a step further.
Mollies, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Is to have some go-to. I know you can find app.
Have the source
websites where they have reviews and they line up
right.
compare. They're not granular enough.
Yeah,
Well, the other thing is, can you believe everything that they say too? I'm there at
well,
that.
you know what? I want to say something. The thing that I think a lot of times I love the demos, but what I really like, and this is one of the reasons why I really like Hector Garcia and Michelle Wong's demos, because they get into the nitty gritty, like how we would use it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. When they demo it, okay, that's the way it works. But how do we use it? We accounting professionals. How can we use it when we have a client?
And why do you choose that one and not this one? Like, we're in these Facebook pages and someone will say, da, 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 and someone will say, oh, here. And then I go, I have to write that down somewhere because, it's just little features can make or break a decision, can be a deal breaker, for some of these products. Depending on
even the demos, though, because everybody's different.
Right.
Some things work better for some people. Other things work better for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
But where can you go look?
Right.
At those. I'll say, like for HubDoc. Okay. I'll say, all right. I'm going to put all these documents on HubDoc. How do I get them back down? What if I need them for an audit? 2 years from now. So I'm thinking of things like that. Theirs is like just beautiful. I could take a whole folder, zip it, I've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Other products, they've got your data. Well, you can click on each document and download it.
Right.
So those are those questions that.
Yeah. See, and that's where it would be nice if they could do a demo between two. Why this one works this way and why is it better than this one?
Well, that's why I
didn't like that yet.
I know Stacy has a spreadsheet that lines up desktop with QBO with QBE, and then I guess they've got it in a Google Docs, but
yeah, Woody created that one. Woody created that one like a year ago.
Woody do that? But it's not granular enough. So if you go into, one thing that's really good about some software programs is if they're really serious about growing and being a better program, they may have an area where you vote on features and things, or they list features.
Like the focus group or their Facebook group. I know what you're talking about. And 17 Hats has that where you pretty much you have your Facebook group, but then you can vote on the best, either their best features or features you want them to add on to.
Exactly.
And then how many votes they have at that point.
Well, that's how you find out what a program doesn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
You want user provided stuff.
Right.
Like you can go to QBO and go to requested features or whatever and start reading that, and you'd be shocked. You go, it doesn't do that, and then also see how long it's been that the people have been asking for it. So, but I want that in some sort of a spreadsheet where I could have the, all the top 10 CRMs and then all these questions, and then,
well, you know what we can do?
I care about that one.
Well, I think that idea, can evolve to, with this series, we can create a smart sheet.
I was thinking smart.
Yeah, a smart sheet group, an SBAA smart sheet group that we'll all be in. Mm-hmm. And then as we do, let's say, the series of CRMs, we'll create a CRM folder.
We could all be typing on it at the same time.
Exactly. And then we can actually create really nice kind of diagrams, kind of like what you said, the comparison of maybe 5 different CRMs and what they should all do. And then create little checks on this one does this one doesn't, kind of like what they do where you have a 5-column comparison and you check off what they do.
You could even have conversations on that.
In the discussion.
And then you could filter.
I love that idea.
You could filter on one category and see which ones have it and which ones don't.
And Dennis is going to put a lot of beautiful colors in there. He loves colors.
Yeah, a lot of.
I love that idea.
I already started one because I've been looking at different programs for downloadables, and then the different hosting sites for WordPress, and then the different themes for WordPress, and everything that I'm looking for. And I'm like, I had all these notes and stickies and paper, and I'm like, and then I had it in Excel, and that one, and then I'm like, oh God, I'm in Smart Sheets all day long. What is wrong with me?
Yeah. But I agree. I think for this to really make a difference and
As long as
stand
nobody
out,
deletes the sheet.
no, of course not. Yeah.
That's what happened with all
You
our
know,
sheets.
I think what we need to do is we need to have a Smart Sheet demo and then a couple of classes after before you can be invited to the Smart Sheet. Then you can be
Nuked the entire work page.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make sure you know how to work with the Smart Sheet first. I agree. Yeah, because that could be a lot of.
Can you back up the Smart Sheet someplace before people?
Yeah, there is a way to back up.
And I'm sure we probably will because we're all going to be scared that it's going to get deleted.
Right, right.
Well, we already have
And you get blamed for it.
as a matter of fact, I already have a group with most of y'all in it. Hold on. Hold,
Yeah.
please.
Let me go look, actually. I think you did add me a while ago. So that was the idea.
Yeah,
In a
it's empty.
Oh.
All right, if I go home,
Well, I was
have one-
thinking of doing a subject a month, like picking CRM, like you said, and doing 1 week as a demo, and perhaps doing 2 different CRMs on that same. Like I do like Yvette's idea of doing 2 on the same show. That way you can see what's the strong points on one and the weak points there, the strong points on the other.
Because, I recently, I'm not going to say who, but they gave me a demo, a private demo, but they just showed me the basics, not how it could work for my type of business.
Well, that's why you have to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, and I did, but I was just thinking, why don't they just show us what it can do for what we do? It's kind of frustrating sometimes because there's so much.
Yeah, when I set up demos, I do try to ask them. You're talking to accountants and accountant advisors, so you want to kind of gear the demo that way. And most of the people have, but I guess it depends on the vendor. They're told certain things to do certain ways. And if they were to try and do it specifically for a certain group, then they'd have to do it specifically for other groups, and it would be very involved and complicated. I'm not sure.
And I think what could help too is that I think we can do we get the demo and obviously have them gear it towards, our basic needs. But then the follow-up meeting the next Friday will be us having homework to kind of deep dive into it and help each other answer their more specific questions.
Right. That's where having it a month long would really be great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that would be great.
I found it. I've got all of y'all.
Okay.
I named the workspace. I changed it from ABBO to Sample Sheets Shared Public.
Oh, I see it. Sample sheets shared public. Okay.
And there's nothing in there. I think there's one little thing.
So we would create folders in there of the category, and then in each category we would actually have the specific.
I would have a sheet for every, like a sheet for CRMs, a sheet for, and then I would do the products in columns.
Right.
With the questions, and you can do
And then, one person looks at it from the view of QBO, one is QB desktop.
Well, yeah. And that's where you start building this long list. You could, and the different questions, can be grouped depending on, what's appropriate for the software. But I think I had a bunch of people in here as admins, which enable you to add sheets and add columns and things like that, but that's how they got nuked. Admins can nuke. Editors can
edit but not delete. That's what it is. They can't delete.
Yeah, they can share and not share, and they cannot delete.
Let me be an editor.
There's all kinds of people in here.
So,
all right, so if I come in here and I make Mariette. I don't know. Okay, you're now an admin.
That's okay. I can be a puppet for you.
I know. I'm like, some people are just viewers, which I think were some people I didn't know that asked to look.
Can you just ask me to can add but can't delete? Because that's what I'd be worried about. Is somebody nuking the.
Is just yeah. You are admin right now. I can make you editor.
I'm kind of clumsy. I might accidentally delete
Gina's an
something.
admin.
make me an editor.
You want to be an editor?
I want to be an editor.
Because all you have to do is say, hey, we need a column for whatever, and it's just easy enough for one of the other one of us to.
So going forward, I have Notify coming in July, and
Because that's construction, right?
yeah, that's Sarah Prevost. She wanted that.
That's Joe
And
Costi,
you,
right?
Mariette, wanted, is it
HubDoc.
Pardon?
Canopy Tax.
Canopy Tax.
Yeah.
Will be sometime in August.
Yeah, they sound like a really exciting company. Basically, they're a workflow company focused on the tax professional. So, but it's not only tax professional; it could be accounting in general. So it's like a CRM. You create automated workflows, so kind of like 70 hats, where you have emails, templates, and then those email templates can go out to a batch of clients. But then they also have access directly to the e-services, IRS e-services.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can get your power of attorney through there. You can do a lot of other review all of your clients' IRS notices through there. That sounds amazing, because all that stuff you have to either go on to the IRS site, to the e-services login, or you have to do it through fax or whatever way, the old school way. But to them, it looks like everything gets done in this one area, this one hub that they have that gives you access to all of these notices.
Nice.
Pretty awesome. And you have all your clients
What's it called?
in this format. Canopy Tax.
And
Yeah, it's
they'll
on
be
my-
coming on in August.
Mhm.
So
It's on my
we
Facebook
don't-
page too.
We don't have anything set for September, October, or November. We can do like little test runs for the rest of the year. We'll pick, I don't know, September, pick a category that you'd like to review. And then we'll, see how it works. A demo 1 week, discussion 2 weeks, and then maybe a work session in there also.
Yeah. And we can also, I was thinking, like, you can group up categories. Like, for instance, the funding category, which is like the small business lending. There's companies that are, providing like small business financing and lending platforms, and they also have like small business resources on their website. We can pair that with like business intelligence, like a Finagraph. Like, how will you use their finances, and how can you almost use that with a financial planning tool like a Finagraph? How can you manipulate your financial statements? Like, those two kind of go together, so it doesn't have to. It could be two that kind of also are similar, or like HubDoc, for instance. HubDoc is not only a storage; it's also the whole OCR, being able to read receipts. So you kind of have two there,
Right, exactly.
Two different categories, but it's one app. So we can also do something like that. We can kind of use a couple categories in the same time frame. So that would be cool too.
Absolutely. Now, in the past, I have set one demo per month because I didn't want to lose the discussion part of the group. Yeah. I'm afraid that, as a group, I really like our discussions, and I think we help each other a lot through current events and current things that are happening. And when we have demos, things happen like last week when Yvette had a really good subject talking about signatures on financials, and I had to kind of cut her short so we could do our demo. So I don't want to lose the group cohesion, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. Well, and that's also where the discussion is going to happen, and that's critical. I think the follow-up discussion is really what's going to make this a big deal. And I mean, that's why Sarah mentioned the smart sheet, because we could talk about it all we want, but if we don't follow through with it and create some kind of, a central feedback place, which it sounds like Smartsheet's going to be the best place.
I think Smartsheet is going to be one of the best. Because,
I think for sure it is. But if we don't do
have
that,
discussions. And things change. Like, if we go back in 6 months later and they didn't have whatever feature, it can be updated and said, hey, like, did you know with HubDoc you can collapse the folders?
Okay.
I have to get back to HubDoc. It's been a few weeks since I've been getting there, and I know that they did the email too. You can personalize the email address now, which before you had that weird long email, and now you can do your own. So I
didn't see an announcement or an email about it. I just happened to go in, and it was like, oh, right, because if you've got a company with 16 credit cards and all, and so you get overwhelmed and you can't see where you are. And now it's like click, click, click. It's all nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And are the folders better though? Because I've struggled with their folder structure for a long time. Have they kind of they made it a little better than before?
Well, you can, it's like a normal file structure. You can go to Wells Fargo, drop down. Now you see a folder for every bank account, drop down, CSV deposits.
Got
check.
it. Okay.
Clean.
So you can collapse Wells Fargo and then you can go to their next Verizon or whatever it is.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Oh, that's huge.
That is?
Yeah, that's huge because if they really take advantage of HubDoc, they have so many profiles in there.
I know.
So it's very overwhelming. That's really cool. Oh, but that's something we should write about. Content right there.
Yeah, see, this is,
I know. I'm setting it up.
Where do you have all the time to do all that?
We don't. That's
Yeah, we don't have time.
I'm telling you, it's like,
Yvette, in the bathroom, you put Smartsheet on your phone. No, I'm not kidding. I know it sounds terrible. I'm being honest, okay?
I keep my iPad in there sometimes because it's the only time I have to read my email.
That's what I mean. My kids are like, oh my God. My kids always tell me, like, Mom and Dad, we're not going to tell anybody else, but does everybody take their phones to the bathroom? I said, we all do. All working parents take their phones to the bathroom, but just not us. Trust me.
But you don't want to waste any time.
Yeah, really.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
Oh, I always tell them, I said, don't get your feelings hurt because when we're with you, we put our phones down. When we're in the bathroom, we're not with you. So, you take advantage.
This has been bugging me for a year or two. And so I was on a wiki one time with one of the games I had on I've deleted all my games because I have too much of an addictive personality. But there was a wiki and everybody was contributing to screenshots and features and I kept thinking accounting.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
That is a full-time job, I think, administering that kind of stuff. So that's why I thought, well, I didn't want to really get into, and I really couldn't find a wiki that wasn't easy out of the gate like they are with games. There are millions of people that are into all these gamings and everything and TV shows and entertainment. So you can find wikis that are designed, sort of like canned websites,
Right.
But I'd have to sort of reinvent the wheel for business use, but sort of an extranet type idea. But then Smartsheets is exactly that. We can collaborate.
And everybody can put their own ideas in. And if you have a week that you're busy, not that every week isn't busy.
Yeah, right.
Well, how about you're on Facebook, somebody asks a question, and then you go, I need to put that in Smartsheets.
Exactly. Or if you're already in Smartsheets, like for instance, me during tax season, I think Dennis too, we're in Smartsheets all day long.
Okay.
But it's not going to take maybe less than 5 minutes. And trust me, I need my 5-minute break because I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, okay, tax side is gone. I'm going to go and post on the fun stuff we talked about on Friday. I mean, it's going to happen,
Yeah.
So it does take time, but you also take time to do things you really like. That's how I see it too.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Brandon, I've got 2 sales.
Hey, Brandon.
I got
Driving again.
Always driving.
When I was driving, the other day, I was trying to figure out how to get I was going to run off the road if I tried it, but I wanted to get my cell phone so that y'all could see me driving to out through the island and all that. It was so beautiful.
Okay, you need a dash cam.
Yeah,
You need a dash cam.
Brandon, you're going to get in trouble. Linda saw you without your seatbelt, so you better put it on.
Thank you.
Put your seatbelt on. This is being recorded, Brandon. Come on now.
You're right.
I'm driving a Honda.
Very good. Yeah.
Yay! Sorry, I can't clap. I'm just going to bang the table.
Thank you, Brandon. We love you. We want to keep
We
you
love you. We
safe.
want you to keep your head.
Isn't it against the law over there where you live not to have a seatbelt on?
We won't tell anybody.
God says to obey all laws,
Yeah, obey the law. I haven't put an order up on that QuickBase in so long. I have to remember how to do
I thought Intuit sold that off.
Well, when you
I've
got
got someplace
instructions,
else
did
now,
you
but-
Zoom it?
If you get stuck, let me know. I'll help you.
Okay. I found a CPA friend who's like retired, but he does a little jobs on the side, and his 14 keeps blowing him out and stopping. And tired of messing with it. And then the client that he's been helping, they are on 16. So he wants an extra pro for them and an accountant for him.
Perfect.
Brandon's on fire. You're bringing on new reps like crazy.
I know.
Yeah, considering I don't feel like I've done anything in the last 2 weeks. I've been moving.
You've been moving and sick and yeah.
Yeah, so the new reps have certainly helped.
Oh, I love your bed set, by the way.
Thanks.
Hey, what?
His wife was posting their new fabrics and everything. I was like,
Yeah, I didn't have much input there, but I did pay for it.
Well, that's the important part.
Brandon, you going to the island?
Do what?
Are you moving to the island?
Not yet.
Oh, because I'm like, wait, I know you were planning on moving to the island, but I didn't realize so soon.
Oh, how cute.
oh,
Nothing like babies.
Oh, that's a little baby.
can't you just
They're a
smell?
blessing.
Even though it's a camera, can't you just smell the baby?
Sweetie pie.
Did he just wake up? Did he just get up, Mariette?
You know what? I was born with hair like that. Lots of hair.
Look at him. Look at him. Oi, oi, oi. He's such a good boy, too. He's so small. Look at how small he is.
He's so sweet.
No.
Okay, I'm going to take him back to his nanny.
Okay.
Even Penny's crying.
Oh.
Yeah, I know what we need to talk about before we hang up is how we're going to protect all our pets over July 4th.
How are we going to protect all our what?
Pets.
Give them some earplugs.
Because this is the one weekend where pets that don't usually jump fences or climb, dig out or whatever, they get lost. So make sure all your tags are on and you're aware of, 'cause we've already got fireworks. We can hear them from neighborhoods,
Do you guys have a big celebration over there, Sarah?
No, but I'm just, there's a lot of people that shoot them off, especially from the docks and stuff like that. You can hear them.
They've already started here this whole week. We hear them every night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the
Although
dogs,
he doesn't mind the fireworks so much. He hates Halloween and people coming in costumes.
Oh, really? You got to get that thunder shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people say you can just wrap them up really tight in I don't know.
Saran wrap?
Yeah,
Saran wrap.
An idea.
Saran wrap. Like a hot dog.
That's like when you bundle a baby and you quiet them.
Oh,
You could actually do it with an ace bandage type of thing, a big wide one.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
But good point, Sarah. Everyone take care of their pets. Watch their pets. Watch your dogs.
Yeah, and be careful when you go in and out. You don't let them out. The dog across from me, a dachshund, was locked out this morning. Evidently, he didn't go away. He kept standing at the door and barking, but nobody was home for
He went to work and didn't know he was out.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, for 4 hours. And people called them to tell them. I was trying to get him to come into my house, but when he took one look at my dog, she wouldn't come in.
my niece reacts the same way the dogs do
Really?
to fireworks. So maybe I should wrap her in saran wrap.
No, just give her some earplugs.
No.
Earplugs.
It's weird because the funny thing is she reacts that way to fireworks, but the train goes by, and when she was a little kid, and it didn't bother her, and now it does, which is weird. Like she can't stand the horn when it goes.
Headphones.
To me, the train noise is a lot different from fireworks noise.
Yeah.
Fireworks noise sounds like somebody shooting off a gun, and it's loud, and it's like,
Bang, yeah.
It's
pow,
sudden.
pow, pow. It's always like surprising.
Right. Like thunder doesn't bother Penny at all. But fireworks, she'll get all upset, and then you go, oh, and you can hear them. It's even really faint. There must be a pitch to them too.
Could
Yeah.
be.
It does have a little squeak to it, I noticed.
That wine going
That wine before it kind of explodes.
Yeah.
I need to.
I do have a question. Has anybody noticed the latest update to desktop now requires you the stupid,
Source subject.
Change your password, right?
not even change. I never had one. I didn't need one. Now I have one and I can't get rid of it.
You're not going to. The
That
reason
means
is the
there's
credit
something
card.
in your data file. There's probably, even if you don't have employees, you may have a vendor with the EIN. You may have your own EIN in the company setup. Think of that one.
Card numbers.
No credit card numbers,
No
no
credit card, no employees.
no employee, social security numbers are in there.
Go look at your customer set. Go look at your company setup. You may have just put in your EIN. Just
Oh, you know what I just did? I just added QB payments the other day.
duh.
There you go.
That's what it is. Okay, makes sense.
There
What
you
I don't
go.
like is every 90 days, because
Every 90 days.
if it's every 90 days, a lot of people, you know,
Damn, I gotta change it every 90 days.
well,
No.
what they end up
Yes,
doing
no,
is they
but
just
it's
same
really simple.
password. 001, 002, 003, 004. Well, if anybody guesses the beginning of it, they're gonna get the rest.
Well, I do something different. I take a word. Like,
Yeah.
give me a word. Let's.
Don't tell your secret, Linda. We're recording.
But a word and then
No,
add the
you
months.
take any word. Hold on. Where's?
Accounting. Say accounting.
Okay, you take the word accounting,
Okay.
and then you say accounting, and then you think of some 4-digit or 5-digit number that means something to you, not relative, not your birthday.
Not your house number.
No, for me, I use Toastmaster clubs because they're usually 4 digits and they're just on combinations. So I'll pick, and I actually use ancient Israeli kings, which I search for online. And so you might choose, say, Solomon 7213.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time it's 7213 Solomon, and then it's S 7213 Alleman, and then it's SO 7213.
Oh, start going that way.
You just move the numbers,
Wrap
through
it.
the word, and
Oh.
it works. It's almost very easy to remember where you are, and if you forget, it's easy to figure it out with 2 or 3 tries.
Brilliant.
And it doesn't matter what the word is. Obviously, don't pick your own name or your husband's name or your dog's name.
Because you want something sequential, but not something that's so easy that somebody else can figure out.
Right, and if you're at church, don't use the name Jesus.
So here's the other thing. I have a couple sites that I use, like these random things that I created.
Yes.
And even though I did the thing and I switched stuff around, it read it as it was the same numbers and it wouldn't let me use it because it was too close to the one
Sometimes
before. So sometimes that will happen too.
I never had any trouble with QuickBooks. It can be
No. I'm saying not QuickBooks, but other
yes.
secure sites. They're putting in that where it can't be any of the last 10 you've used. So
I hate it.
yeah.
I will substitute symbols for numbers.
That's
Instead
an
of
idea.
1, the exclamation point. Instead of the letter I could do an exclamation point.
Yeah.
Instead of the letter A, the at
And a
sign.
lot of it's length. That really helps. The longer, the better.
Right.
I use slang.
You have what?
I use slang.
Oh, slang.
Yep, slang. So am I saying it the right way?
Yeah.
So broken English, basically.
That's fine.
So
English.
like in Barbados, we have a certain dialect, and it's the way we pronounce our words.
You do it phonetically?
Yes, I've gotten into trouble in school because I would write the way I spoke, which isn't grammatically correct.
I write.
So I use broken English, which they're not real words. They're words that we've taken, split apart, and then put back together. They mean something totally different, and I use those, and those are hard. Nobody will be able to figure that out.
Right, right. When you're not using real words, then you can't get those.
I mean, it's a real word. Like if I said the word to somebody from my country, they know what I mean. But in the digging of the scheme of the words, it wouldn't make any sense to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use Pidgin Chinese. You know what that is? That's basically phonetic language. I mean, it's a synthetic, it's a phony language where it's used to teach Westerners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what do they call it? Pig Latin.
Yes.
No, it's not Pig Latin,
Yeah.
but it's
There's a little girl's name on Facebook, and her name is spelled L-E, a dash, and the word A. And everybody was pronouncing it Leah, etc., like that. And the mother got very angry, and the mother said her name is Ladasha. L-E-dash-A. And she said, that's how you say it. The person on Facebook was really angry that the mother named the kid that. But, you know, if you tell everybody that's how it's pronounced, I think it would work. So,
You know what? I am not even touching that with a 10-foot pole.
I don't
I'm leaving that alone.
I didn't even say like or dislike or anything. I just went on too.
Well,
I'm fine. Listen, after
LastPass will do. Larry said, yeah, something like LastPass will generate passwords for you too. Here's the problem: if you've got a client in QBox, and you know the admin, you have your own login, so you can handle that and changing that. But sometimes you have to have the admin to do something, and then we store that in LastPass, and then. You know, chances are I'll be in the night or on a weekend or a holiday or something. I won't have that password. That's where the incremental numbers at the end. We try it. If it doesn't work, we try the next number. Try the next number.
Yeah. Right, right. Or if you lose your last.
So that's what Seth was talking about this morning. We start looking at convenience and wanting to get our darn job done.
Yep.
Versus safety.
Right. Exactly.
I'm talking about QuickBooks files that are on our encrypted server. No stress behind us. Look at this guy. Mr. Security.
Mark has his own opinion.
Use passwords on site.
What did he say?
Yeah, they were saying that one of the reasons that so many programs are having us change passwords right now is say LinkedIn gets hacked, and they take those passwords and they assume, hey, if they use LinkedIn, I bet they also use
have the same passwords for all your
Facebook, Twitter, all of that.
so many bank accounts. You know, some people use their.
Well, you know, at this point in my life, if they hack my bank account, they probably gonna be so they're gonna feel so sorry for me. They probably gonna put something in there. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm like, you gonna hack me? Go ahead. Something in there.
You're funny.
Use password manager.
Yeah, Larry's right. Use the password manager.
All right.
I'm so spoiled with LastPass. When it doesn't work, it makes me angry.
See, that's when I would freak out when it didn't work.
Well, I mean, like certain websites don't recognize that that LastPass doesn't pop up automatically. Yeah, I can flip over to LastPass, but like even on my iPad, most of the time it'll know you have LastPass, or you can click on an icon and go to LastPass. But you get so spoiled with it knowing.
Well, passwords are a big problem for a lot of people. As far as clients go, they're hating it. They hate it. They can't remember. They don't,
Well,
we hear about it.
I've got one password. It's like about 35 characters long, but it's a combination of 3 passwords that I use all the time. And it includes like letters, numbers, and symbols, and a couple of them are foreign languages. And so
damn, Dennis!
A password breaker to break that password.
Is that the password to get into the $1 million vault in your house?
That's the one that I used to get into LastPass.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
Is
the
that-
one you need to have so difficult that, you know.
I
right,
think if somebody
right.
can crack a 35-character password that are numbers, symbols, and letters, and uppercase and lowercase, then
Yeah.
you're
And they
pretty-
deserve to
Yeah,
get.
they'll go next door.
Well, one last thing. Does anybody use Google Calendar here?
I do. I do.
Did you see it go
Sometimes.
down?
I've been having trouble with mine. I can't seem to add things to the. I can't drag and drop right now for some reason.
Hmm.
I actually use it with Acuity. I linked it to my Acuity, and I plug it. I plug in my appointments and like my out of office stuff in the Google Calendar, and it will automatically populate it in over on Acuity for me. So that if so if somebody uses the link to try to see if I have time available, it's blocked off already. I don't have to worry about putting it in multiple places. And then I pull Acuity over to my Outlook on the computer, and it will update. Like I have the Acuity schedule there too. So
Nice, nice. Well, if you have something linked to your calendar, at least you won't lose it. Because I freaked out. I went in and I saw that it was down, and I Googled it, and it said that something was the matter with the Google servers. They were looking into it. I'm like, oh,
When was this? Is this recently?
yeah, Wednesday.
Huh. Because I've just been having recent problems with mine where I can't seem to create it in Google Calendars or drag them, to different days. But oddly enough, I can create something in Zoho Calendar and it'll sync to Google Calendar.
That's what happened to me. The other calendars that I use that I had synced with the Google Calendar worked, and I was able to get my information there.
Yes.
So if you're using Google Calendar, sync it with something so you don't lose your calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a disaster for me.
I don't know. It's not I like Outlook desktop, and only because it's on my phone, I throw it in Google Calendar, and then I have it there, and it'll get a little ding, and if I'm in the office, I'll get a ding. So, but since I've been using Acuity Scheduler, I'm trying to put everything in there so that it will automatically populate. So if I put something in Acuity, it goes over to Google.
Right.
As well. So
Is Acuity where people could sign up and schedule appointments with you? How much does that cost a month?
I don't know yet. I signed up for the free trial, and I scrolled down all the way down to the bottom. I read the actual email, and I got to the bottom, and there was this quiz. It was like, find the kitty. I found the kitty. I emailed them, and I got 3 months free.
Oh.
Nice.
Found a kitty?
Yeah, or a dog. It was something. It was in there. It was like this little riddle. It was like, we have somebody hidden in our help section. If you can tell us where it is.
Yeah.
So, so I did. I went and I found it, and I emailed them, and they were like, "Oh, you'll get a surprise." And the prize was I got 3 months free.
Wow.
Nice.
Isn't there other schedulers besides Acuity that are free?
Yeah, I mean, you could do a free version, I think. But I want to be able to do certain things with, branding and stuff like that.
Okay.
I want to say it's about $10 a month.
Okay.
Like $10 plus tax, which is totally worth it because you can embed it in your website. You can, shoot off an email with the link directly to the description for the form. It integrates with some things.
Well, I was thinking of doing like a free 30-minute telephone, consultation, maybe a Zoom, and maybe allow people to sign up there.
I know it doesn't sync with Zoom, but it syncs with.
I was thinking the Google Calendar would sync with Google Calendar. That
I don't know.
Because that's where I would see.
I don't know.
But Gina, what were you saying was wrong with the Google Calendar? What was happening with it?
It was down.
Down, yeah.
Oh, it was down. Oh,
was
I
down.
live off of Google Calendar. I've lived off of it for years.
Yeah.
So that would be really scary. And I have so many different users, and every user has their own calendar.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's where I was at, terrified.
Yeah.
Dennis, here is what it looks like. Once you build it, this is what it would look like. So this is what the customer will see.
Okay.
And I'm still working on it. I've set them up in categories. I have existing client meetings, virtual, new client meetings, in office, virtual meetings, that sort of thing. So they click on, it'll tell them how long, and then they'll get a nice little, note in there. You can have intake forms. You like if they, if you want to have an initial meeting, you can have, you can do certain questions that they have to answer to fill in, to make the appointment. Before you have the appointment. And then what I tell them for the virtual meetings, like the phone conferences, for the video conferences, I tell them to expect another email from Zoom until they integrate with Zoom. Okay. I will, I'll then put in a thing and send it off to them. Okay. So far, it's been working really well, and it sends a reminder email to you that you have a new appointment schedule and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's weird. Where'd it go?
All righty. Any other questions or any other comments before we close for the week?
Oh, I think we're set. So that phone meeting is just between Marietta, Gina, and the guy from
Mariette. Her name's Mariette.
We've gone from Marionette to Marietta.
It's okay. My mother-in-law's, my husband's grandma, she called me Marriott for our entire, she passed away a few years ago, but she called me Marriott, and she was older, and I felt bad to correct her. But everyone would laugh. She'd be like, "Oh, Marriott's here." I'm like,
how do you say your name?
Mariette.
Oh, what did I say? Marietta?
Marietta. It's Mariette, kind of like Juliet or Suzette or.
Got it. Mariette Juliet.
Mariette. Yeah, Mariette Juliet is there.
By the way,
I don't mind. I've been called, as long as you don't call me a bad name.
That's fine. Your little boy is just so precious.
Oh yes, I know. Thank you. I know. I am. I'm on the moon. Oh, by the way, I started creating a folder already. I'm sure you saw that already, Sarah, in Smartsheet. And the only thing I was thinking is, what is the best comparative spreadsheet? Is there a template out there? Because I know you work in Smartsheet a lot, that we can just copy over and use for every one of the comparisons.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we can get one going, and then we can use it to
as an example.
Yeah. Template.
Okay. So have you used a template before that looks like
folder.
one?
You might check and see if Stacy or Woody or one of those guys had started something, or somebody in Sleater. You're talking about the CRMs?
Yeah, but if we're gonna use Smartsheet, we have to create the template in Smartsheet, and then we'll
I
just
understand that, but somebody might already have a template in another thing, and you could look at it, and it would give you.
You put a folder in a workspace?
You can't do that?
I just never.
I don't think she realized you could.
I didn't know you could. I never noticed. I didn't know.
Mariette knows how.
Look at that. Look at Sarah. Sarah just went down the hall.
Here.
Look at her face.
I told you, everything has to be in I have a method to my madness. I need it to be in a folder, and in the folder has to be something else. If not, I'm going to go crazy.
I know. Okay. Oh, I'm liking that.
Look at her. Look at her. She is just, what?
Mark's over there going,
I know, Mark, is this how she is on Christmas?
no, okay, so under the and we can rename this whole
Should I show you guys what I did, so that way they know what I did?
Thank you.
Okay, so are you seeing
That
it?
looks nice.
Yes.
How do I see what you're seeing? Oh no, now I know. Okay, so yeah, so basically what we have here, and I noticed this for a change. So if this is my Smartsheet. So when you're in my Smartsheet, see how it says Mariette here on top?
Right.
So you're in mine, but when we're in the shared one that Sarah created, you'll always know because it actually says ASB up there. So you'll know you're in her.
Cool.
And then, but then in each one of our folders, each one of our workspaces, like a shared workspace, I think we should have what we're comparing. So this will be the QuickBooks comparative folder here.
Yeah, I did one project management. I thought if we had a sheet for every type of product, maybe.
But I think she's saying put it in a folder, and then everything related to project management will go in that folder.
Yeah, but what else would we have other than a sheet?
But you're gonna do
Well, like,
comparisons and links and
Yeah.
updates and videos.
One.
No,
Like, if
I want to
open
have it all
project
in one sheet
management-
too. I agree, Sarah, but I just think in the beginning it may be so overwhelming for like them to see this big sheet with all this stuff. So maybe like minimum just two or maximum two things. Maybe we could have the comparative spreadsheet that'll look more like this, like the actual, comprehensive matrix.
Does
And
that
then-
let you download that, or is it view only?
No, I already put that in our spreadsheet. I already put it in the. I put it in our.
Actually have it in Excel.
Yeah, you could download it into Excel too. I've done that before. But right now I already have it in our Smartsheet, in the actual QuickBooks folder, in a new a sheet I called QB Quick Links.
Right, but that's got a link. I'm talking about the link to that sheet. Can I get that sheet in Excel?
Yes. You have to open it in Google Sheets first, and then once you do, then you can save it as an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, I thought they only had me set up as a view only.
No, you can do it with the one I put in there. You can actually see how I'm doing it right now. I can just save it into Excel right now if I want to. And then I can open in Excel. If you want to save this in Excel. And actually, you know what? We can actually use this one.
File download as an Excel.
Right.
And as soon as I do that, then I can cut and paste that into a Smartsheet.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Yeah, you and I are on the same page. Let's just use this. There you go.
Well, we'll use this one for the QuickBooks.
No, but we can actually use this one for all of them. We just change the names of the softwares and then change the left of what.
Yeah, but I mean a separate sheet for every.
Oh yes.
This one's QuickBooks, but we need another sheet that's just CRM and another sheet.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Another sheet that's
with all the different products across the right.
Yeah.
We can keep all the popular ones to the left.
Right.
Smartsheet, you know what I love about Smartsheets, even though I don't hardly ever use it, it looks so clean.
Yeah.
It is. It is like the best thing ever. I absolutely love it. It's saved my, honestly, I tell everyone it saved my tax practice. If it wasn't for Smartsheet, I think I would have been in really big trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a lot more in control looking at the Smartsheet summary rather than trying to guess where I am on everybody.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all centralized in one spot.
My bookkeepers to finish setting up their smart sheets because there's so much in our heads. And so I have a client that I've been handling personally for the last couple of years, and I've been, and finally one of my gals wanted more hours. I'm like, oh, good. Now it's time to train you on whatever. And I was shocked at how I didn't realize it was how complex it is and how many. How many things that I do every month. And when we started listing it, and then she had great questions, and I'm like, oh, yeah, she wouldn't know that, would she? And so we're going to spend the rest of the summer and just, we're almost there. Because
Hey, are we still on the air?
Yep.
Yep.
It's 3:41.
Yeah.
We're just over a little bit, that's
We
all.
just love each other.
Aww. Okay, so I'm done sharing.
You can get lost in Smartsheets. You really
I do.
can.
Oh my God, I can spend all day and all night. I'm sick like that. That's crazy. I know.
I know, it was Mark. Mark is the first one who found it.
It's kind of like brain candy.
It is.
Mark found it. I got it. I showed Seth, and then it
Oh yeah, Seth shared with me, and you know how Seth shared with me at first, because one day we were talking about going to the grocery store, and I told him that I use Trello for the grocery store, and he's like, "Oh, I use Smartsheet for the grocery store." I'm like, "What?" And so he showed it to me, and I loved it, and I'm like, "I'm going to use Smartsheet for everything." That was it. That's how I fell in love with Smartsheet.
And then if somebody buys a year up front for a group, you get $100. So I got $100 when Seth joined.
Oh, nice.
And then lately I've been getting like $15. I don't even know who they are.
They're using your
I got an email. I got $15.
Nice. Awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome. On that awesome note, we are going to end for today.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We'll
Have
see
a
you
nice
all next week. Have a
happy
wonderful 4th of July, everyone. Stay safe.
Happy holidays.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.